So the Bonnie Blue situation is crazy. No, I'm kidding. This is about Bonnie, the Twitch streamer that we've been covering the past few days. She was once a 18-year-old woman who admitted to messing around with a 16-year-old boy. The main problem with that situation was that the way she was talking about it was a little weird, seemed a little predatory.
But basically, like, he was actually 16. I thought he was 17. He lied to me. This is like my only time to like have sex with somebody who's younger than me, do the cougar thing, and never see him again, and no one ever know about it. But yeah, he was like some cute little 16-year-old, and
But she has finally decided to drop a statement. Not really a statement. It's just her basically admitting to it and saying she was 18 in that clip.
Also, I saw a clip going around. I saw an old clip going around, and I just want to make it very, very clear so that there's absolutely no misinformation or confusion. But that clip, I was 18 in that clip. The clip's from 2014, and you can see the verified dates if you care. So that's pretty much all there is to it.
Now, truthfully, I think like the funniest takeaway in this whole situation is the fact that Mizkif had to come out and basically say that, you know, Cinna and Bonnie and all this other stuff, like, they hate each other, right? I mean, that's not really a surprise. It's girls who are like in their 20s. Girls in their 20s hate each other, but then 5 minutes later they love each other. They're like at sleepovers, and then the next minute they're beating each other up, right? That's another situation just like that, and now they're literally roommates.
Cinna was grinding on my dick. It was very inappropriate. I was like, what the f? I looked at Bonnie. I was like, what the f? I didn't really care, chat. You gotta realize, she wasn't grinding on me. She was grinding on all of you. All right, my 40,000 viewers I had on Twitch. It wasn't anything I was like, oh my god, dude. I felt violated, like blah, blah, blah. First of all, I'm a man. Second of all, she looked pretty good. But Bonnie really cared, and she's like, holy f, what the f, and who the f, like, turn this f***ing music up. She's a f***ing disgusting woman. But she hated her for 3 f***ing years. 3 years. When Cinna would come over, she would talk shit about her. When Cinna would do anything, she would talk shit about her. To the point where they literally tried to fight in that fucking pool.
So I think that was like the biggest takeaway from this whole thing, and it kind of brought out a lot of people in the community to come out and be like, you know, if a dude did this same thing, they'd be canceled for it, blah, blah, blah. And I mean, that's kind of fair, that's kind of true. But another hilarious thing that came out of this is Tectone potentially violating his protective order. It seems like every day this dude really wants to keep paying Pikachu money or go to jail at this point, because he had some tough, interesting things to say about this situation.
And now this shit with Bonnie, too, has bothered me so much. I find it insane how Bonnie has on record that she a 16-year-old because she thought about how cute and young he was, and is getting zero heat for it whatsoever. You guys don't know this, but Bonnie called me day one when I had to deal with those false allegations. And do you know what she said to me? She berated me for an hour and a half over the false allegations that I received because of how it might affect her.
Now, I wonder which false allegations Tectone's referring to. You know, maybe the ones that got him a 10-year protective order, maybe the ones that are literally why he can't own guns for the next 10 years, right? Maybe the ones that are why he can't directly address who made the allegations. Of course, he is not allowed to talk about these allegations. He legally cannot do this, and of course he keeps doing it. Of course, this kind of depends on the court, and Pikachu, of course, if she's willing to like go to the court and say, hey, he's talking about me again. It's like clockwork every single week. This guy keeps saying more things about me. It's getting old at this point. It's also getting funny to just kind of cover it because it seems like he just can't stop. No matter what he does, every day, he just slowly is getting worse at like keeping his mouth shut about the situation. It started with like little tweets here and there and little references to videos that Pikachu would make. And now he's literally just saying, oh, it's about these false allegations, right? Now, to get back into the Bonnie situation, I did a little bit of research. This site is going to be blurred out quite a bit. It's a website by the name of Bunker, where people can upload videos and photos and whatnot. A lot of it is going to be not safe for work content, right? If you're a little guy or something, don't go to this site, right? Anyways, there is a link to the file. This was shared around on Twitter when the video started making its rounds, and it says 2014 09 28 2236 Bonnie blank. I'm gonna censor that just for her, just for whatever. It's her cam girl name. But basically this is saying it's from September 28th of 2014. I'm going to assume the 2236 is like whoever recorded this is probably like their 2000th recording on their device, right? There's obviously going to be a video here. I'm not going to click it because it's a naked woman. Anyways, if we are to look up Bonnie's age, you'll see that she was born on December 26th, 1995. So she's 30 years old. Now, if we were to take that day, her birth date, and subtract it from September 28th of when that was recorded, you'll get that she was 18 years old, 9 months, and 2 days, right? So she's telling the truth, right? Doesn't change the fact that her words were a little creepy. The way she was talking about this possibly 16-year-old who lied about being 17-year-old was a bit creepy. Yes, but we are still talking about someone who was 18, messing around with someone who they thought was 17, but was 16. We're talking literal high school, relationship thing going on. Should she have went on to her streaming website and talked about it? No. Should she have been bragging about it, saying like she felt like a cougar? No, because that's creepy and weird. But it's not the worst thing in the world. And it's definitely not something that Tectone should now be trying to hold over her and be like, oh, she's an evil rapist. Like, bro, you're the evil rapist. You're the one who has the 10-year protective order for SA and stalking. She doesn't have any of that. She was a dumb 18-year-old who messed around with someone she thought was 17. That's the end of it, right? I knew from the beginning, like some people were probably like, yeah, this was nothing burger. When the age ended up coming out that she was 18 and that person was 17, like it was kind of like, okay, it's still a controversy because it's still like, how would the internet react to this if it was another streamer, right? You always have to factor that in.
One of the biggest problems with Bonnie, and it's a fatal flaw that's happened in her career and what she did is, she tries to play this like innocent, ooh, sweet girl, right? And like she tries to go like the Emmy route, right? With that I'm a sweet girl, oh like ooh, look at me. But you can't do that if you know her past. If you know her past, you know that she is a sex worker. Like you can't pretend that you're some ooh sweet girl when you used to fucking do not just take lewds, take nudes. You used to get down by one of the thumbs from Spy Kids. And you can't act like you're some innocent girl anymore. And she tries to put that act on. It just doesn't work.
I think Mizkif had great points there. There's a lot of people who've been commenting on my videos who like didn't even know she was a cam girl, right? Again, that's her past. That's her life. She wasn't hurting anyone, really. She made some weird comments about, again, like what this whole controversy is and what's caused all this. But this whole situation has caused probably a lot of people to look into that past, right? She's probably got a lot of new fans, and not for the reason that she wants, which is because she had a controversial past of, yeah, literally doing some crazy things. We're not talking taking some pics here and there. We're talking this chick was doing a little bit of everything. And she left that life behind, and it's come back to get her. This is kind of just what happens. You can literally never leave that life. That's one reason why people are so, adamant or like so against like OnlyFans and whatnot, because this is a life, especially in like the day of the modern internet, that will come back to haunt you. Or, if you continue to do it as you get older, it'll always just kind of be there with you. But at the end of the day, this is not the craziest thing in the world. And it's not worth like destroying her career over, truthfully, like in my opinion. But let me know what you think down below. Thanks for watching. Bye.